bitches hitting up the phone. I'm headed to the spot just to be alone. I step in, get a table while I'm in the zone. Something like one bottle just to be social. Hitting Twitter, let my hitters know I'm chillin' local. And I'm sipping while I'm sitting solo. I'm just different bass hitting while I'm listening to total. A lot of things on the floor shaking. Each one got me more patient. I see when I'm like, Lord gracious. Let's see what it's gonna take us. I told her, I wanna see you on the floor naked. She laughed. She looked at me and said, this boy crazy. Then she looked at me and said she overdated. Then I looked at her and said, I'm so persuasive. Then I grabbed her by the hand, headed to the table. It's glasses after glasses, getting more acquainted. The liquor make these women show their true colors. Brown and brown equals black when it's on the covers. It could all start with a couple licks, and it can end with you. And in between I be it's blindfolded sex, you don't know who you fucking with. She said the party done, let's get out of here. I said the party starts when we out of here. By the end of the night we can both get right. I'm not here just to find me your wife, alright? So what it's gonna be?
Baby girl, acting like you're tryna come home. Acting like it's a handsome, come home. Girl, I'm not really tryna roll.
You ain't tryna leave. Okay, let go. Now what you gonna do? Cause I already know what you wanna do. And I can tell that you can tell that I'm wanting you. And I ain't with the game, so I'm laying in front of you. So now it's your decision. Because your decision, it will lead to more decisions. And the more decisions we have is for more positions. Both our wrists handcuffed together, fucking co-defendants. I'm trying to get you alone, girl. And ain't nobody trying to fuck your buck-tooth homegirl. So leave her by herself right there where she's supposed to be. And bring your sexy ass more close to me. Let's have a toast to me. Cause this calls for a celebration. Let's say cheer to the crib with the betters waiting. Soon as we friend up, where you gon' end up in a room that's tremendous. In the mood getting bit up. Now tell me how that sound, cause I get around like Tupac if you not down. What you need? If you ain't with it, gotta let me know. If you ain't with it, I ain't flipping, I'll let you go. So call me a loser. I don't get mad, I just call you an Uber. I dig on your cabin if you want me to do ya. Then getting relaxed, looking thick in the pads in the seat when we pulling out. Now all the stops and pulling out. I see you staring, so I dare you, mama, pull it out. By the end of the night, you can both get right. I'm not here just to find me your wife, alright? So what it's gonna be?
Baby girl, acting like you're tryna come home. Girl, so get your hands to the phone, come home. Girl, you're not really tryna roll. So what it's gonna be, baby girl? Acting like you're tryna come home. Girl, so get your hands to the phone, come home. Trying to roll.
Tryna spread love, you know that hate could kill ya. I'm tryna see what's up, let me make one phone call. You know I got all my digits right, and now I need yours. I can be seconds away from just tasting you, taking you down. You can be waking up naked, just looking around. I can be who you've been waiting for, right in your face all along. And I can be the one you're looking for, or I could be wrong. I know you sick of them boys from around the way now. Let me put you on this plane with want your paper. Whole world I could show ya. Let me be the one to take ya. They better not come a knocking. We be tryna wake the neighbors. Tell them they sleep tomorrow, or they gon' have to wait. I know you sick of them boys from around the way now, and I know you wanna get away. Let me take you
from the middle of 42nd, I'm blessing another banger by Psychotic. I'm on and I'm wrecking the Punisher pieces. Is capital punishment, punished the speaker. Been punished, you cast and make examples out you rappers. Bronx bomber from the city where the greats are from. Chris Rivers, OP Milo Reigns is from. Cuban Link, busy being a Remy Martin. Man, that verse on any up is smoking out forever. Love my city, bright lights, the big dreams. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bills on the rails. Take it back to 93 and Staten Island for that L. Hip-hop, rap caused the panic. Salute to Queensbridge, the home of Illmatic. And the infamous, can't forget son, Derek Jeter showed that number 2 was number 1. Like when Angie Mall went to power. Flex people with hope, I'm feeling sour. It's still New York City, no effing cowards. Brooklyn, where the people yelling yawa. Fabulous Joel Ortiz, man, them boys are ether. Rest in peace, the birthplace of Aaliyah. High haters, even at the haters loving me, no BK. The birthplace of David Blaine, yo. Papoose drop charades. Meanwhile, the second Sunday in June is the PR parade. Floating through the city, all the people getting lit. Can't forget about Harlem, shout outs to the dips. Children of the corn showed unity. Now we bumping that diplomatic immunity. Greatness is earned and never borrowed. You sucker MCs won't last in the Apollo. Heavy, Planet Rock, Africa, Bambaataa, Zulu Nation, and rock steady. Hardcore, jumping on city trains, graffitied up, B Street. No need to fight, bring out the cardboards. Break dancing, I break them, they ain't advancing. I'm crazy lace with the prancing, get my B-boys dancing. Pardon me bargaining, but the art of me's expanding. Get late to rest, cause I make the best when I'm breaking necks. This ain't a test, I shatter MCs, prepare your tape decks. For that street flow, New York City, all the homies still doing chin numps on the street post. Y'all seen that Fat Joe made them lean back. We started local, became big and went global. Hip-hop gave us a voice and we became vocal. No matter what, I will never front. I may be Jersey, but I'll never forget where I came from. New York, right.
Showtime.
What's up?
Happy birthday, Rich. What's good? Hip Hop Point of View. We here. We rocking and rolling. Let's take a look. Introductions.
What's up? What's up? It's your girl Tay.
Bravo, Captain.
And we got the guest host.
Hey, what's up? It's Envy, you heard?
Envy, what's the deal?
Chilling.
How's it going?
Going good. How y'all doing?
Good.
Slow mo chilling. Envy actually did the show with us on Friday. He actually did the Friday, he did Thursday, he did the Philly joint.
Okay.
So he's well acclimated right now.
Oh wow.
What's up?
He like I'm a professional.
You taking somebody's spot?
Uh-oh.
I mean, damn.
You kicking somebody out?
He taking somebody's spot.
So we got Lakeisha. Lakeisha, come on in. Slide up in here.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Let's talk about everybody.
Hello.
Being early.
Yes.
Right? Lakeisha was here early. I heard you were here early. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right.
Put your mic right there.
Envy was here early.
Was you too early that you got booted? Kicked out the.
Maybe.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I see Starbucks.
Yeah. Too early.
You know how Slims do it.
Too early.
Slims of Jazzy Jeff.
Slim said,
real quick.
you would get the Uncle Phil quick.
So, Lakeisha, first of all, I met Lakeisha at an event, right? Seen her just by herself with her books.
Okay.
Looks so innocent. I said, let's see what these books are about.
Right now I'm a little bit scared.
All right. Now, what is the name? Right? Welcome to the
table. Here.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
Autographed? Are they autographed?
I have one for you autographed.
Okay.
I actually have extras just in case.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
What is? Introduce yourself. What's the name of the book?
My name is Lakeisha Baker. It is a memoir, and the title of the book is called A Diamond in the Rough. So, very interesting story, I might add. Not only because I wrote it and I I experienced it, but it speaks a lot about my life from a tragedy and then, you know, the ups and downs. And, you know, I would say it's very triumphant.
Wow.
You know, at a very early age, at 9 years old, I witnessed someone stab and kill my mom. And I got caught in the crossfire. You know, he stabbed me as well. So from that moment, it was, you know, trying to figure out at 9 how to move forward, this was like the very first time that I've ever kind of experienced death. And I'm from the South, born in South Carolina. And, you know, back then it's like generations are different. They don't talk about certain things. So it was just like, you didn't see what you thought you saw, but you'll stick you in counseling. And I'm just like, well, I want to talk to someone who's experienced this with me. So I wasn't open to it. So now it's like, now I had to figure out how to move forward. And with that came, I had to pretend. That this never happened. Show face. I wanted organic relationships. So my friends then knew nothing. They knew I didn't have parents. They just didn't know what happened. You know, so it was like it was like my life was a lie. You know, they would talk about pets and teddy bears that they had at home and like these, you know, it was like a fantasy to me when I just agreed, you know.
Did you kind of keep up with the lie, or did
up
you
with it.
and created this like
Fantasy.
Yeah, like my mother was the president of, and my like was it like the ill lie or
no? I would just shy away from it, and
Okay.
I would give little. That's what it was. I would
Gotcha.
give very little, and the moment they touched on something that was a little sensitive, I would just like change the subject. And I was always joking. Like I was never really like, you know, you couldn't look at me and tell that there was a problem. And I think that was like the most enriching part of this book because I've worked with people in the same company for so many years. I have had friends for so many years. People that I've met maybe like after 21 when I became a little bit more comfortable with the situation, they knew. But people that were, you know, that I grew up with, well, when I came to New York, I met, they didn't know much of anything. So when they read it, they cried. And I felt bad.
Wow.
It is, it's funny you say that about the South because, you know, I got a lot of family from the South and I was raised down there as well. And it's so true that you say, like, things happen to people and families and they keep it secrets. And I've always wondered why, like, why is it like that? And I'm thinking, is it because of the families know each other, and like usually they're small
Small.
towns
Very
and
small.
everything,
Okay, I got
so they don't want to be embarrassed or ashamed to let certain things come out.
Yeah.
So they just take it and they brush it, and it's like something happened to family. But oh, he's just taking a trip somewhere, and they're gone.
And it's gone.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, well, why isn't he coming back? Oh, no, well, he just decided to stay there.
Yeah.
And like when you said that, I'm like,
Yeah.
like
No, they told me
that's
she was sleeping.
unbelievable.
They were like, "Oh no, she's sleeping. She's coming back." So I'm like the only one at the funeral not crying because I'm
Because
like,
you think
I'm like,
that
why
it's
is everybody
innocent.
crying? I'm like, no,
You
she's
think it's
just resting.
innocent.
Yeah. So
And everything.
it was definitely hard, and and again the experience of moving to New York was coming from a country life, dirt roads, coming to the city was it was an adjustment.
Yes.
And I grew up, well, my grandmother, she's like, it's like alcoholism. Like there's so much deep rooted in the family.
Yes.
So this book, it breaks cycles. It actually uncovers a lot of what people are uncomfortable with talking about. It's very raw. And, a lot of people are like, oh, how do you think your family's going to feel? And I'm like, you know what, it's for me. So it actually started as just being, therapy for me. And then once I put it out there, it was just like I can have a conversation with people I come in contact with, but that's just like little bits and pieces of me being released. But putting it all, I mean, again, it's raw. Like if I open a page now, I still get teary-eyed. And this is like, 3 years in the making. But I'm like, I don't want to cheat myself of like completely healing or, I don't think you can completely heal. I think it's just coping. You find ways to cope.
We find
But,
ways to, yeah.
Did you ever feel like because your family hid secrets, did you ever feel like you wanted help and couldn't receive that type of help?
Yes.
Because I know sometimes everybody goes through experience and they think that their friends already know whatever the situation is and then tell their best friends, well, you never helped me with this situation, and they feel blindsided, like, well, you never asked.
You never told me, you never asked. Yeah. Or that's another thing too. It's like people feel like you've been through so much, or it's like I walk around and because I don't, complain, I'm always smiling. When I used to go to my friends or, friends, family, whatever it is, and I'm like, I really want to talk. Or sometimes it'll just be the phone call, that initial phone call, and you're like, this is going to be the moment I'm going to ask for help.
Yeah.
You don't get a call back.
Because they don't believe that you need the
they're
help.
like, oh, you're going to be
That's
fine.
what
You
it
get
is.
through everything. And it's just like that saying when they say strong people, people never reach out to find out how strong people are doing. And that's so hurtful because it's like I have this armor that's tough. Like tough, but inside I'm mush. I'm like mush, and I'm just like sometimes you just want to hug. But then even with that, it's like I don't know how to receive a hug. You know what I mean? It was like I had to coach myself through this thing called life from young, because like you said, down south everything is just like we're tough. We don't talk about what goes on in the household. We don't talk about these family issues. We don't do all of those things, and then we grow up with childhood. We're grown people in childhood issues.
With that armor. Yeah. So we're about to have hugs around the table. Keith, you ready with the hugs?
She said she wasn't too sure, so I was about to show her like step one. Step one is you look, eye contact. 2 is we open arms, and
3 is that you receive the hug.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna do introductions again, and I know we have another guest at the table. Keith, thanks for coming. We appreciate you taking the time. So we're just going to go around, Lakeisha.
Yes.
Go and say who you are, what you do.
So my name is Lakeisha Baker. I'm an author of A Diamond in the Rough, and it's self-published.
Okay. And that's it. And I'm Bravo Captain. I'm co-founder of this Heroes Headquarters and HHPOV, Hip-Hop Point of View.
I'm E. I'm a host.
I'm Envy. I'm a hip-hop musician from the Bronx.
With us.
I'm Tay. I'm also a host.
And my name is Keith Perrin, co-founder of FUBU, CEO of FUBU Radio.
Wow. So let's talk about, when I think it was Christina when she reached out to us, right? She kind of mentioned how you wanted to kind of like change the radio landscape.
Yeah. I had my partner, Demetrius, he's in the radio. He's been doing that for like 10 years or so. And he just stayed on me for about almost 2.5 years. Like, yo, come on, man, it's time to just, give you and your brand another avenue to, advertise, to promote, to do whatever you need to do. And online is where it's going. It's going to be at. So I wasn't really convinced. So it took about a year and a half of him just pestering me, sending me all kind of emails and updates of what's going on in online radio wise. And then I just jumped in the game, and I felt like with all the stuff that we had going on, which we launched about a year and a half ago, it was just the right time.
So what as all of us here, right, in some type of entrepreneur, status, right, selling the book, selling music, selling the brand. When you launch, right, the FUBU Radio, what is it that you took from your other successful ventures like FUBU the clothing, and you brought to that?
I think what I took out of it the most was the work ethic. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like you got to work twice as hard, and even me, I got a successful brand already, but starting FUBU Radio was like starting from all over again. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was calling in favors and everybody was coming through. It was like, yo, you got a radio station? Like I still hear that now, and I just work hard, man. Like I go home, like sometimes I leave at work 7 o'clock, go home, eat. 10 o'clock, I'm working till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Wow.
I get up at 6, and then I just do that all week. My wife be bugging. She be like, yo, you go to like just burn out. And I'll be like, I sleep on Saturday or Sunday or whatever. So I just do that all the time. So, like right now, just by word of mouth and minimal advertising, I got it up to 200,000 people a month listen to.
Ooh,
wow.
He's like, that's something light.
He said 200,000. Keep saying I'm failing right now.
Just by word of mouth. By word of mouth, I got like quarter of a million.
Minimalistic.
But I'm not like really satisfied. Like I think with all the coverage that Damon has and the brand has, I think it should be more, so I'm just trying to work that number and get that number up to like 1 million. Like that's my magic number. Then I'll be like, okay, not that I will slow down, but I'll be like, all right.
Yeah.
Now we talk.
I
got eyes, like the little eyes are watching me now. They say, I see you. From the bigger radio companies are watching me right now.
Do you feel, okay, you have the radio station and everything, and with at that time, the clothing brand being so humongous, right? And is it more pressure on you? Are you putting more pressure on yourself to achieve this goal and to be successful with it, or the people that know who you are putting more pressure on you?
I think I put more pressure on myself because the first time around, it wasn't an individual success.
Yes.
It was a group thing. So, people really only know since Damon still has the light.
Yeah.
They be like, oh, Damon John FUBU. Damon John started FUBU. Like, you kind of forget about the other cats. You know what I mean? So, for me, it's a personal thing where I just want to, take this from creation and then make it hot, And so far, I'm doing a good job.
Yes.
That's good. Our viewers want to know. They said, do you actually work a 9 to 5, or is this something okay?
We don't play no games. I've been working 9 to 5 for the last 25 years. Like, for real, like I see cats that they take weeks off, and I take vacations and shit. But
now you curse.
You curse.
I was wondering Lakeisha. I'm gonna tell you, this is a joke. We got a running joke, Keith. People wonder, like, can I curse here?
Yeah.
I curse on the stage.
It's a running joke. That's love. That's
For a
love.
second, I got scared for my life.
Radio? Can you curse on FUBU Radio? No, you can't curse on FUBU Radio. Oh wow,
that's dope. I got scared for my life though.
You know why? You know why I do that? Because of the fan base that we have. Like even though our core audience is like 18 to 34, we got 55, 65, 75. Like my aunts and maybe calling me, yo, I just learned you playing my jam on the station. Listen to the station. Like she's 70 years old. Like
so you try to keep it clean.
So I try to keep it clean because kids also and then we got it like worldwide since the brand is been worldwide for a minute. Like you got a lot of people overseas, like Switzerland and London and all these people over there listening to the station on a regular. Like in the minimum is like 45 minutes.
Wow.
Before
that's interesting. So somebody for a hip hop artist like Envy, what does the station offer them?
So what I'm doing is I cater to old school hip hop and R&B. I stay 10 years behind with the hip hop. So like I'll play a little mix. You know, if it's a hip hop R&B, that might slide through. But
What do you
other
mean
than
by
that-
hip hop?
So
and
like
R&B?
a Cardi
Okay.
B and
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
It has an old feel to it.
And with his keyword, he said it has to slide through.
Slide
You know what I'm
through,
saying?
yeah.
So he got a 2-step, then slide right up into the rotation.
And then slide right back out.
So-
When it slides out, does it stay in rotation?
No, it stays in rotation.
Okay.
It stays in rotation. But you know, I try to stay in that lane, that '90s era. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
in doing so, you know, I'm looking at things from the outside looking in. I'm like, damn, well, what I'm offering the cats today that's coming up? What can I offer them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I went to SOBs. I sponsored the what was the new edition, ladies edition, a couple weeks ago. Back at SOBs, the station did, and I'm going to create a new artist lane. So I'm going to create it's kind of funny because, you know, some artists, these new artists, you don't know where they're getting these beats from. You don't know if it's cleared. So it's a sticky situation for you just taking and putting on the air. You know what I'm saying?
Think about that.
So I got on people, they trying to show me how to, it's giving me ways to kind of do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be able to feature some of the new, just new. You know, not you ain't come out in 2015. Nah, you don't have a record deal.
You didn't change your name.
I just
You
want to
wasn't
get
out 10 years ago, change your name.
to try to get on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So try to be.
He's like new, as in yesterday you came out.
I want to ask because, you know, you're already in the industry and you've seen a lot, like you've witnessed the change from then to now and everything. And we all know social media is a major part of, you know, the entertainment business and everything. And kind of like the showcases die out now to give the artists because they feel they don't really need that. I can just get online and everything. So when you construct your own, you know, your own avenue and you're trying to create something for the artist now, what is it that you can actually give them that's totally different from everybody else now? Because everybody's kind of doing everything.
That's a good question. I ain't think that far down the line.
That's real.
I'm thinking 100. Like what I thought when I went to go see, like even the females, you know, do their thing at SOBs.
Yes.
You know, and I made my decision. Like we talked about it for months. And I was
Yes.
like, how do I incorporate the millennials? How do I give a new artist a chance? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because they'll never play on FUBU Radio. So I just said, you know what? Let me create a new lane. And then they'll go through that lane. So I have all my DJs. Every DJ that's attached to the brand will go out there and be like, "Yo, give me music, give me music, give me music." And then we'll kind of, you know, do the whole voting thing and who got the hottest joints and you know, and then we'll play it like that.
Yeah.
But that's as far as I thought, man. I mean, that's a deep question.
mean,
I was trying to figure out where you was going. I was like, damn,
Yeah, I was listening like.
Yeah, I know.
He's
Wait a minute.
heavy. When he was laying, unpacking it, this is real. This is real.
Because
but I feel you.
I think about it all the time, and I'm like, yo, like.
Yeah, we think
can
about it
you
with us.
do?
Like, what are we
because
doing?
I'm trying to, like, even now, like, I have the idea of what I want to do.
Yeah.
So now I'm just trying to put it together. A young lady that I'm working with right now, she's like, she knows all the ins and outs of all that shit. So we and her been talking for the last 2 weeks. So I'm just trying to figure out how we gonna incorporate it. I know how we gonna incorporate it, but you know, to what elements we gonna put in it to, you know, to get to that what you were saying, basically.
That's amazing. So somebody like you, Lakeisha, what would you want? Would you like to advertise on FUBU Radio? Would you like to market your book or sponsor a show? Is that something you would be interested in?
Absolutely. So the goal, one, the book itself was for me to heal, and I've realized how many people it's touched. When I first put it out, I was just like, you know what, maybe I should, you know, I wanted to start something like in the community and just like all around, you know what I mean? Because somebody has experienced something.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
and close to it.
Or close to it.
Especially tragedy, like you said.
Yes. And in my mind, I was like, you know what, maybe it should be, you know, like young adults, teenagers. But I'm like, who would have thought something would have happened like this at 9? It's just being aware. So, and it's not, you know, like I said, it ends very well. It talks about like the tragedy and the triumphs and the obstacles
so there's a happy
faced.
ending.
However, it's always, it's just like that, you know, it goes up and down. So it's not like a woe is me and, why did these things happen to me? It was just like, okay, these are the cards that I was dealt. Now I got to figure out how to keep moving, looking
That's
forward,
dope.
you know, and then it's like, but when I actually had that crash, it was maybe like 33 a few years ago. And I was actually talking to like a psychologist, and she was just like giving me the past and presents on, and it was just something like from a car accident. You just never know how they just like get in your head. And by me talking and sharing certain things with her, we did like this past and present of who am I today? Why do I, why I react the way that I do today, and where did that come from? Is deep rooted. And doing the past and present, that's what kind of gave me the push to get it out. And I'm like, if I can change at 33, I mean, of course it's a want, but it will be helpful to even like an adult. So then I actually started speaking out to adults. So of course, it's like, I've had conversations in churches, you know what I mean? I've had, I've actually done outreach to school, talks. The more people, the better. You know what I mean? Because it could be 1,000 people you're talking to of an audience, and maybe 2 people really need to hear it. So it was never really like, oh my God, I need to have, like I want to have a large following, but I want it to be something qualitative. I want it to be meaningful.
Yeah, you want it to be something that touches and impacts.
Exactly. So it's like if this book, someone was like, well, you know what, we should do a book club. We can just like, is it okay if I just buy one book and circulate it? I'm like, that's absolutely fine, because the number doesn't matter. It's whose hands it reached that it actually makes a difference.
Sure.
So absolutely.
Did Keith, did y'all write a book together as a group?
No, never did that. Damon wrote a couple of books. I know Jay wrote a book. I think Paul's writing his book right now. I'm saving mine.
Waiting to the end, like the Bobby Brown story. I would wait to the end.
Yeah, I got the best story of them all. So
okay.
So we actually trying to do a documentary right now. So that's what we're working on right now.
That'll be something everybody wants to know. How, because I don't know. There's so many different like documentaries that talk about you guys in particular and the story, and it's so raw, like from the come up to where it happened. So I think a lot of people don't. Do you see in this type of era that same type of success, or you think it was lightning in a bottle? You caught it right there.
Nah, things that we did back then, that was that time. Like now, Cash is still getting it, but it's just coming a different way. Like it's not coming clothing wise. Like only people that's really making tons of money like that now is, the high end designers. Everybody want to buy high end now. Nobody wants to support the up and coming. And then if they do, they're supporting to an extent. You know what I'm saying? But to have $100 million clothing company, that's hard, bro. Yeah, like, that's hard.
There's just too many lines out now.
Yeah, and then like somebody once told me, like social media. They like, listen, if social media was around when you guys was around, you'd be 1,000 times bigger. And I'm like, I'm like,
maybe
and maybe not, because social media has this off and on switch. You know what I'm saying? So when you on, they click you on, and then as soon as one person or a couple of people be like, you know what? I ain't rocking with that no more. And they have any type of influence over these youngsters, they off you. You know what I'm saying? And then that could be 6 months. I've seen brands come up and somebody talk about how they was the shit, and then 6 months later, it was old. And I'm like, dude, how are you supposed to grow a brand if in 6 months you old? Like that's if you got
6 months, you supposed to just be getting it going.
6 months, you ain't even got your paperwork right. You're still trying to get your paperwork right. You know what I mean? So
I'm scared because of the way social media might something like FUBU would just be copied immediately. That's what what social media would do. They would market it, it would flare it, it would get it out, but at the same time, somebody's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna do something like that.
I've been seeing, I look online and I see so many clothes that are bootleg. I still like it because they be tagging me, so I don't want them to feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so you
ain't like mine, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna like it.
Do you throw a comment, or you just
like pure?
He's like, I don't want no comment.
So now we know.
Bootleg, if it's looking like
the color is off.
28th Street bootleg.
Oh man,
that has to be the real.
I always thought about that, like classic lines like yourself, right? That are exclusively hip hop in an era that was hip hop. When you see like those, makeshift joints, like how do you get your lawyer on the line? Or you let it live? How do you
let it go, man?
Let it go. Okay.
It's like a form of flattery or a compliment, because like we spent $10 million. I remember one year we spent $10 million in one, not even a whole year, just sicking the dogs on everybody, and I ain't put a dent in nothing.
Trying to cease and desist all the.
It didn't put a dent in nothing. Like you would imagine, if you spend $10 million, like you be like, okay, something slow down or whatever. Like they were still finding like trailer loads of just trailer loads. I mean, every time we turned around, they was sending us pictures of mad stuff that they caught, but it was still on the street. So they caught a small percentage. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't catch everything. And then after we spent that, we was like, listen, come on, man, we spending $10 million
that could go towards
that could go towards something else, and we just let it go after that.
What did at that time, right? It was so many urban fashion wears that was like just jumping. And even with the Tommy Hilfiger and the Polo at one time, it was so competitive at that time. Now, like you said, everything is high end, and it's like, what happened to that? Like, y'all ruled the, you know what I'm saying, the clothing market. Like, what happened?
It's the customer, man. Like, it's the customer. Like I said, when they switch off, man, and they like, it's times like, I remember when we did the NFL, right? Not the NFL, the NBA. We had these velour suits and leather jackets with the Knicks on it.
I remember that.
I had a couple of velour joints.
I had a couple of the girl versions.
But check it.
You had the real ones?
They didn't even.
It's right here.
No, I had the real ones.
I had the canal
Listen,
version.
babe.
Did he spend $10 million? Was that $10 million part on you?
Nah, that wasn't on me. We was bootlegging, but wasn't that.
But we were too early.
Yeah.
So the cats,
meaning what?
They didn't understand it.
They
understood the jerseys that the Knicks had, but they didn't understand a velour Knicks sweatsuit or a leather Knicks jacket. Like they didn't understand that. And we had mad lines that we were putting out. Like, we had all 29 teams. So we put out a bunch, and it sold, but it didn't like
do what it was supposed to do.
It ain't do what it was supposed to do. But then as soon as the deal was up, it was like 2-year deal. Then that's when everybody started wearing the jerseys, the football jerseys, the basketball jerseys. He was like, too early, man. Like, we was 2 years too early. We did it in 2006. We put out slim, not skinny jeans, but slimmer jeans. The stores ain't want to buy it. Nah, we want the big ones. We want the big baggy jar. Don't switch up on it. Dude. We had
what made you go into the slim the European cut?
Forecasting from trending from overseas. That's what they was doing. So that's what we was doing. We was like, okay, we gonna follow this trend because it's coming. We gonna jump on it early. They ain't want to buy it. So we had to ship all of that premium. I mean, this was like premium shit. We had to send that to Burlington just to get some money back because the stores would not buy it.
And how does that? And I always wondered about that. Like, I've seen some amazing items in Burlington. Right?
You got to do it, man.
Let's be real. We've caught some amazing. We have bought some amazing items.
We have HHPOV, Burlington line.
TJ Maxx.
And I
we go to Burlington with our head high.
Let's just go.
I'll be on live.
I got a cousin named Clarence and a sister named Sarah. You know what I'm saying?
So, and I wonder how does and I've seen some amazing successful lines in there as well. How do you feel about that when it's there?
I mean, you can be like Louis Vuitton and you can burn it up and just put it in the air. You know what I'm saying? Or you can ship it to Burlington. I mean, you got to get rid of it. I remember one time we wasn't getting any distributions, and every 4 months, boom, check come. So for 2-3 years, it was clicking like clockwork. Next thing you know, we made one bad decision, and we had like $26 million worth of inventory in the warehouse.
Wow.
And
well, if you have any more,
it
I
was
wear
like,
a size small.
Oh no, this is 20 years ago.
I can go up to an extra large. I can go from a small to an extra large.
We can create a time machine.
So make it work. We couldn't get no more checks written for us, quarterly checks because we had too much inventory in the warehouse. So we had to get rid of that shit, and then just trying to get rid of it was a headache, but we did. And then the funny thing from that is the stuff that fell on the floor that got dirty or whatever, we dusted off, put it in like 6 big boxes. Then we just took it around the way and went to the the shelters and all the homeless joints and was giving it away. 2 months later, FUBU was dead because they had we tried to do a good deed and people didn't, they like, oh man, you got bums walking around with FUBU on, man. Go ahead, man. He got the same jersey I got on, man. I ain't wearing that no more.
I was gonna say, wow, that would definitely be amazing, and I would feel like that's charity work.
I mean, it was charity. It was charity.
I was Wow.
You got Kobe with the velour FUBU. You got a homeless man with the velour FUBU.
With the same one. Now the magazine's gonna say who wore it better.
And they looking at each other like, yo, who are you?
That's amazing. And, you know, and I appreciate the honesty that, you know, because some people might be ego driven, don't want to talk about themselves.
Nah,
That's
man.
real. I appreciate that.
But you know what it is though? You need that, you know, because it's like
It's gonna
like
humble
said,
you. It humbles you. It lets you know.
Doing the entrepreneur thing, you know, you hit walls. You like, yo, where do we go from here? Like, how can we? And you need the bad stories and the rise again, so you can kind of figure out how you gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Sell
we
this shit.
got some stories. That's why we say, like, y'all only know what we put out there. Like, y'all don't know nothing like about us individually. Y'all know like the company profile. Hey, David John got $100,000 from his moms, did this, that, and the third, and blah 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 with his childhood friends, and there's some deeper stories behind that, you know, that we never told, and you know, nobody never asked really. You know, none of the networks don't want to know about.
They don't want to know that.
But what's
Put
dope
that out
is-
there in the universe.
What's dope is that
you got a group.
I've never seen a documentary or anything like that on a clothing brand. It's always on the artist or something like that on the clothing. That'll be so dope because it's like, this is what you wear. We ain't going outside naked. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
That's true.
we just sat back like all these networks never called, never reached out.
Yo,
And it's a story. It's a story like a mug.
we starting our network right now.
Yeah,
we
starting
getting the
it.
story.
I mean,
we
that-
getting
man.
exclusive
We getting
right
this
now.
exclusive.
We gonna start
That's
filming
why
them all.
you know the independent route. You know, get that. That'll get all of it. So for FUBU Radio, right? Let's say you know that quintessential question. 5 years, 10. What's the ultimate goal? Like, what do you feel like will be the pinnacle of the success for FUBU Radio in your mind?
And
for
just
your
getting it
vision?
off the ground, you know, being able to have my people that's working for me right now, everybody blood, sweat, and tears, able to see them eat. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. I want to see them eat, putting in the hard work. Like I always tell people, like I pretty much, me, I ain't really no big celebrity type of person. And I feel like, yeah, I've had my shine. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing 50. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be in the club like this. You know what I'm saying? I want to be, I always tell people, I want to be that cat you can see getting in the car and he ain't got on no jewelry. You know what I'm saying? But he like,
Who's he?
that boy sharp. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see, his wife is nice.
Yeah,
Like,
he look clean.
you know what I'm saying? And you don't know who he is or whatever. Let me be that person. You know what I'm saying? The executive behind the scene, you know. Living my life, but you know, just having this thing, you know, come to fruition and be, you know, and be successful.
Wow.
You
How
know?
can they support? Like, you just go to download the app.
Yeah, just download the app. It's on Google. It's on iTunes. You know, you can listen from the website. You know, a lot of people listen from directly from the site. You know, we on TuneIn. We got I ain't gonna speak on that, but we got like a big giant just hovering over us, want to put us on their shit. So that's like 120 million people. So I'm like,
Crossing fingers.
Yeah, crossing fingers.
Yeah.
for that one.
What's the like? You know, I've always thought about that. Like, what do you see in that regard? Like, is it something that you want to put out there, and if somebody bigger wants to purchase it, you don't mind giving that vision away, or you want
no, I'm not
exclusively
giving
stay?
nothing away. We could partner, but I'm not gonna give nothing away. Like, I want to be able to still do what I do, still run it like I'm running it. And like I said, I've been doing a good job. Like, I get praise all over. Like, yo, your music is crazy. I ain't heard them songs in a while. And then I do things like, say for instance, if y'all doing some shit and you be like, yo, Keith, man, we doing this boat ride or whatever. I'm like, I got you. When your boat ride, and I'll do drops, everything, customize the whole playlist.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Put it. You know, have you, what you want here? Like, who you want to be at? You, what era you want to be? You want to be from like 92 to 95? Like,
hot.
you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you want to do. So, I have the ability to do that, and that's the shit that I like about it. It's like I could just get on right now if I want to say, yo, give me a call, let me interview her, let me get her book out there, put her book in the hands of the right people that need that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to do that.
So there's like a interview portion, there's a music portion.
Yeah. You know, we doing anything trial by error. You know, I did my first kind of like live show yesterday. Everything was kind of
congratulations.
Congratulations.
How'd it go?
Wow.
Everything has been like pre-recorded.
Congrats.
You know what I'm saying? So I did my little But then something happened where I couldn't put it. You know what I'm saying? So
He's like, I didn't know how to edit it. We probably use some.
He would bring you up and down. He'd be like, yo, we was there, but then
but I'm saying, yo, that's how I be feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's like that.
When we
Like
left,
that. You put it.
like I done had the mics, I had the
like
DJ
that.
come in, I had my engineer in there. We rocking. You know, I'm behind the camera. I'm working the camera. So we got the podcast side, we got the live side going on. We finished. Everybody's high fiving.
Probably didn't push
We
record.
listen to the audio. Nah, we listen to
push
the audio. The audio on one track is clear as day. The music track. Where does audio come from on the music track? How did audio get on the music track? So we doubled up the audio. I'm like, so we had to go back in there, put the songs back in, do a little editing, but we worked it out.
It's all good. It's good. Well, it's good.
It's good. Like I would tell you, the first show I did, I got these mics that are not like performance mics, so they don't do like this. They do like this. I had them like this the whole time. It sounded like the lady was across the room interviewing, and I promoted it. I did all this promotion behind it. My dude said, "Yo, you listen to this thing?" I said, "No, that's your job." I'm
promoting it.
I recorded it. Had the engineer send it to you. You know what I'm saying? So when he got it, he was like, "Man, this sounds horrible, man. What we gonna do?" I said, "Well, we promoted it for 4 days now. I got to put it out. I got to put it out. I don't know.
You gotta put out that.
I just put out
You gotta do a follow up.
I put out a disclaimer. So yesterday was my first time. The audio was a little messed up. I done got
"Don't
new
come
mics,
for
new
me,
audio.
please."
He said, look out for FUBU demo.
Yo,
Look out for the FUBU demo radio interview.
he had to write everything down. So when you see it, it's just all
Transcribe
the
it,
words
yeah.
coming out like it's like
That's dope,
that.
man.
But it's dope though. But like and it's just you. Like you're in charge of the whole thing, right? So you see, with us, like we gotta blame people when stuff like that. We're blaming.
No, we
We're
are.
blaming somebody.
We blaming
somebody when something happened. We're blaming. Yo, that's your job.
Yeah,
that's your job.
We pointing fingers.
Pointing fingers.
Everybody just pointing that key. Just pointing that key
Everything
right
was perfect except that
It's
part.
always
Like
one
that was
thing.
the only thing that I couldn't scream at the engineer, man. He was, he done took me down to B&H, got me all his equipment. Come on now, I'm gonna take you, get you what you
Oh
need.
man,
It was a crazy day yesterday. Crazy day.
you got everything except for the batteries. Say, yo, where the batteries at, man?
Okay, we appreciate you taking the time,
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having me, man.
Because if you could stick around, we still ain't see the books yet, but I know people's running around. We're gonna do some pictures and some promos over here.
Please,
And then
please,
get back.
and please
Then
keep
I
us
see you.
in touch
You
with
good?
the
Okay.
with that documentary, man.
Yeah,
I would love to see
You'll
that.
see it.
I think it's all about the journey, and sometimes I often feel like I'm not where I want to be because there's certain things that I haven't accepted yet. Like maybe one thing might go wrong. And I guess we're all perfectionists, especially when you're in this, you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears in it. And when one thing go wrong, I'm like, what the hell? And I'm just like, all right, God is probably like, you ain't ready yet. Because you need to be able to accept it all. And you need to be able to embrace it all.
And we always
regardless.
say timing is everything, but you never know
But it
when
just
it's gonna hit
happens, though.
time.
Like,
It just
sometimes-
happens.
Has to happen.
Sometimes, I think the best statement that I come up with is adapt and overcome. You know what I'm
Adapt
saying?
and overcome.
Because life is gonna hit you with
It is.
left curves and all
It's
kinds
coming.
of stuff. Ain't business gonna ain't
Yeah.
always be up. Like something's gonna be wrong, and you just gotta because sometimes it wasn't always rosy for us. Like we
Right.
went through some. That's why I said like people don't know. Even when we was on top. Like we was going to clubs and cats was getting murdered in front of us, and it was crazy. Like
Yeah, that time was
cats was
ridiculous.
trying to extort us and
Yeah.
do all kind of mess, man. Like it was crazy. So we got a nice little story.
So tell them how to get in contact with you.
You can reach me on social media at Mr. Keezo, MrKeeyzo. Official FUBU Radio, not FUBU Radio. I had an old ratchet ass friend of mine
Yo, this roller coaster is amazing.
snatch my goddamn name, steal my name from me. I'm working on it, though. But it's official FUBU Radio on Instagram and FUBU Radio on Twitter and FUBU Radio on Facebook.
Absolutely. Shout out to Tubs. Christina, is that you, Christina, over there? Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
For making this happen. We appreciate that. We're going to take some pictures.
You can follow us at the official. We gotta start putting official now.
We put an official,
Yo,
the
tell
official
me,
hip hop point of view.
And it's like a cat call you, yo man, I see you need help with your shit.
Respect the code. I live and die by the G code. You don't comply, you finito. Or pro catch a play, thread the needle. What's dirty can clean, how we legal. Break bread and spread love with my people. Be cool, no bad vibes, keep it peaceful. Beware them snakes, they deceitful. No hate, I don't hear, speak evil. I've been front line since I jumped off the porch. Grind got no chill, so the streets stay on scorch. Root of all evil, cash rules, no remorse. Struggle is real, no risk, no reward. Hustle, ambition, no grind, no glory. Seen it all, live it based on a true story. We out your blue lights around coming for me. No fabrication, trillness mandatory. Fakers a mockery, deal with them properly. Westside camaraderie, built a monopoly. Mission and plot to be cashing like lottery. Quake to be shockingly solid, shit rock with me. Mix up relentless, pursuing this dope. 365 plotting how to get more. Duck off and stroke pillow talking, no note. What's understood, don't explain, say no more. I live and die by the G code. You don't comply, you finito. Or pro catch and play, thread the needle. What's dirty can't clean, how we legal. Break bread and spread love with my people. Be cool, no bad vibes, keep it peaceful. Beware them snakes, they deceitful. No hate, I don't hear, speak evil. I live and die by the G code. You don't comply, you finito. Or pro catch and play, thread the needle. What's dirty can't clean, how we legal. Break bread and spread love with my people. Be cool, no bad vibes, keep it peaceful. Beware them snakes, they deceitful. No hate, I don't hear, speak evil. Could've fell back, a lot of losses been suffered. Pick up the pieces, shake back and recovered. Stay down despite the emergence of suckers. Built for the pressure, can't damage my structure. Solid foundation, stand strong for my falling. No love for those that put them in coffins. Westcat GB is the movement, we all in. Progress a process, the jackpot is ballin'. Winning's a muscle, me grinding, no luck for me. Been through it all, the come up was rough for me. Payback is lovely, you come through the clutch for me. Suckers don't fuck with me, call out they fuckery. Label you rap, we do not fuck with that. Your money no good, we ain't serving you jack. Fuck out our face, cause the line can't come back. Talk everything, but they don't talk that. I live and die by the G code. You don't comply, you finito. Or pro catch and play, thread the needle. What's dirty can't clean, how we legal. Break bread and spread love with my people. Be cool, no bad vibes, keep it peaceful. Beware them snakes, they deceitful. No hate, I don't hear, speak evil. I live and die by the G code. You don't comply, you finito. Or pro catch and play, thread the needle. What's dirty can't clean, how we legal. Break bread and spread love with my people. Be cool, no bad vibes, keep it peaceful. Beware them snakes, they deceitful. No hate, I don't hear, speak evil.
You wanna ride with, roll it up, get high with. We do this all the time, it really ain't nothing, that's just us vibing. Radio to the max, see lay back, that's just my drive-in. I got a whole lot of time, you gon' hop in. I'm the one she wanna ride with, roll it up, get high with. We do this all the time, it really ain't nothing, that's just us vibing. Radio to the max, see lay back, that's just my drive-in. I got a whole lot of time, you gon' hop in. She wanna ride with me cause I'm cool. Hit the highway then I cruise. Seat back, music blasting, that's just how I do. Win more than I lose, so when the most pick I get chose. She break it down, roll it up, like hit then we blow. Nothing now, I'ma live in the moment. No hands drop on my knees. I'm fresh, and I'm a flashy nigga. Get the picture, I'm after that cheese. And I know they gonna let me on the mic too. Ain't no question what I might do. Been a man since high school. Whoever wanna test me, this a crash course. Head of my time like fast forward. Bitch, I'm a man, boy. And if you don't believe me, then just watch. Top down while I ride with a bad bitch on my side. Shades on top of my eyes. If I hit the clutch, gas gone. That's just how we ride. Nigga, I'm cruising. Ride with, roll it up, get high with. We do this all the time. It really ain't nothing, that's just us vibing. Radio to the max, see lay back, that's just my drive-in. I got a whole lot of time, you gon' hop in. I'm the one she wanna ride with, roll it up, get high with. We do this all the time, it really ain't nothing, that's just us vibing. Radio to the max, see laid back, that's just my drive-in. Come on, I got a whole lot of time, gon' hop in. Well, I ain't never gotta tell her how been. She gon' jump right in if we take a trip. Inhale, exhale, she asked you first, then pass the split, we hop. Windows down with that music up, we ride. She only wanna smoke that fire and kick it with a stand-up guy. I know it's my fault, it ain't your bag. She rather kick it with a nigga with swag. I don't boast, but sometimes I brag and blow cash when I pop them tags. She ain't entertained with no lame. She rather ride with me and switch lanes. Then she smiled at me and said I got to be one of the illest niggas she seen. Her hair blowing that wind, and we riding off in that zone. She froze, then froze quick while she was snapping pics with her phone. I'm all about I like Illuminati. Don't rock time for the fuck with Molly's. Why they on days I be rockin' Roddies. You looking for your bitch, then she right beside me. We cool. She ride with, yeah, roll it up, get high with. We do this all the time, it really ain't nothing, that's just us vibing. Radio to the max, see laid back, that's just my drive-in. I got a whole lot of time, you gon' hop in. I'm the one she wanna ride with, roll it up, get high with. We do this all the time, it really ain't nothing, that's just us vibing. Radio to the max, see laid back, that's just my drive-in. I got a whole lot of time, you gon' hop in.
HHPOV.
We back, hip hop point of view.
We back.
Yeah.
Shout to Tilsa hooking us up.
Yes, y'all.
Christina hooking us up. We appreciate it. We're back. Lakeisha Baker, author.
Yes.
Guest host Envy. Are you creating a rhyme about this experience in your mind? I feel like I think he's taking it all in. Okay. And we have Nina K Naturals. What is your official name?
My name is Nina. You
Nina.
can call me Nina B.
Nina B. Okay.
Yes, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Nina K Naturals.
Okay, excellent.
Yes,
So
yes.
what is? I thought it was well. Shout out to Olivia who.
Yes, that's
Who
my
put us
sister.
together, yes.
Thank you so much.
So what is Nina K Naturals? What is that line about?
Basically, Nina K Naturals is an all-natural organic hair care line infused with herbs. I was motivated by starting a business from my daughter. She's 14. She has really thick, unmanageable hair. And all naturals know that it's very difficult to maintain our hair. So I wanted to make something that would help me manage her hair better, and that's where the company was birthed. So I came up, I've been doing it for a couple of years, and after getting my master's, I finally decided to go right in and start making the products or whatever. So it's been really successful so far.
So is it like a master's in herbs or master's in hair?
No, master's in business management and media management.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah, just managing, being able to manage a business. But on the side, I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So hair and body care and skincare is something that I was really into. So right now, I just launched a hair care line, but there's a lot of more products to come as far as like skincare and body care. I'm really into like a healthy alternative lifestyle. So that's what Nina K Naturals is about self-esteem as well, and accepting each other for who we are, and taking care of yourself and healthy alternatives instead of all these chemicals and chemtrails and things that we're living amongst right now.
It's about to be a hug fest.
Yes,
I see it coming. You set it off, Lakeisha.
Self-care,
So
yes.
looking at somebody like Envy, looking at his hair, can you kind of like look automatically and see what it needs?
Oh my God.
Honestly, his hair is pretty good. I mean, it does look a little dry. He probably could use some conditioner and leave-in. His beard is pretty tight, and he's okay. He's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like gauge that from the look, like.
Oh, absolutely, and especially with the years that I've been, really been hands-on with taking care of the natural hair and managing myself and my daughter. Definitely could just take, understand.
So
my
let's
daughter.
talk about Bravo's beard, right? When
I
you
need a
see-
shape up.
when you
See, y'all can admit when I
handle-
handle.
full swing.
I've been
today,
raw.
y'all.
No, I've been raw.
How do you
the
address
last-
that
that's
beard,
me,
Shantae?
man.
What
Well, I
does
think
that?
you got the salt and pepper look going on, and I think that's common. That's a
That's
common
okay,
thing right now.
yeah.
That's fine.
So Nina, is that
Good.
just straight? You need a barber. There's no real.
No,
herbs.
honestly,
Just a
he's
shake
good
up,
because
yeah.
some brothers here, bears don't even connect.
Yeah.
You know, some of them are kind of special there, so we accept the brothers for who
Special
they
bears.
are.
Some got retarded.
Is there
bears.
something for that? Is there herbs for that?
Well, yeah. Well, in my oils, there's an oil called fenugreek oil and burdock root that helps with the follicles. So that doesn't really take care of just the hair itself. It takes care of the root issue. So usually that's something good for people with alopecia, like my mom who suffers from that. So that's been helping her, and my sister who has a bald spot, that's been helping her as well. So the oils are really infused with like strong things that help in the inside out.
Would that even allow you to grow a beard, even if you haven't been able to in years?
Honestly, it's genetics too. So I can't promise you that. Some men just can't grow beards. You know, so.
Let me ask you, because I get a lot of, people ask me like, why are you putting moisturizer in your hair when I shave it down? Well, and I believe that you're grooming it before it even starts to grow.
Which is important. You have to.
So am I right?
You're absolutely right.
You're right.
Bang.
He's absolutely right.
Some of them are live right now.
Somebody.
Bang.
Yeah.
So to groom it even before it gets so big. And
Yes, I encourage you to wash your hair, condition it, put a moisturizer on it, and slap that oil on it too every day if you can, if you remember. Definitely, you have to take care of your hair.
That's interesting. So how about somebody like Shantae who has the wig on right now? Has an amazing wig stylist. You can't even see tracks, right?
There's no tracks in the back on this. Okay?
Somebody that wants to go natural like her. Nah. How about her? How would you see her hair? What?
She just needs a basic shampoo, conditioning, and treatment. Some women like to transition. They don't like to cut off their hair. Like me, I start off with just cutting all my hair off. Like the big chop is what they call it. But she can just grow out her hair just as long as she's treating it. Moisturizing and conditioning is the absolute foremost important thing to do with our hair. As long as it's moisturized and it's conditioned, your hair can evolve into a really healthy state.
Lakeisha, I was coming to you.
Yes.
So, what do you feel like are some of your challenges as a woman with hair?
Well, this is 3 years. It's been 3 years now since I've been natural. I didn't do the big chop. I just had them clip for, probably like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then now it's like all natural.
Right.
My daughter's all natural, but I don't have the time. I don't have the patience. She's 15. When I tell you for like 45 minutes a night, when I feel like she should be studying, and she's studying, but she is like moisturizing, doing the Bantu knots every night. And I love that she takes pride in what she looks like. For me, I do a wash and set, let them blow it out, wrap it at night. I'm all set. You know what I mean? But the products, I'm like, we went from having very simple products in the house to now she wants to try this shade, this, and it's like the bathroom is, but her hair is healthy. It's growing, so of course I can't say anything against it. Right. But as for myself, I do the simple, just keep it moisturized and go to the hair salon. Like for me to do it at home and then blow it out, I don't have the patience.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. It's very difficult. I'm like,
what is the difficult? Like coconut oil.
It's
no,
it's just about
it's not that
water and
it's not that simple.
Styling.
It really isn't.
It's more the styling.
It's not the answer.
It's an entire process.
I truly believe that
it's the styling. I like ponytails. Like I can do a ponytail to the back, and it looks, good for work, professional, but there's times when you want to like do something a little different, and you want it to stay where you want it to stay. You know what I mean? Like you want it to be in place. I'm okay now. I'm very comfortable with washing it and just having it in an afro. Like I'm comfortable at this stage in my life. But in my 20s, it needed to be, I didn't want to fuzz anything out of place.
I
so
think
you need
it's
to block out time in a schedule. It's
but
like,
that's what it is. It's setting the routine. It's setting the routine.
Hour to wash, hour to blow, and then that's not even style. So then now you wait, and my hands is hurting. So it takes a lot. Like,
but it's a routine though. It's a routine because my youngest daughter's mom's was a hairstylist. She did the hair and everything, and she had a time in the day when she would do hers and my daughter's and work and do the salon like 12, 14 hours. So it's a routine. Like you got to set it part as your plan of the day to do it.
lifestyle.
And that's it.
It's
Yeah.
a lifestyle.
It is.
It's a lifestyle.
And especially if your beautician is not available, it's like my beautician. I wanted to get it done for starting at school, but she told me she wasn't going to be back from vacation until Friday. So I said, okay, well then I will wait until Friday, and then I'll get my hair done. But other than that, I'm like, I really didn't want to do it myself. I hate washing my hair because the best feeling to me is getting it washed,
The
sitting
pampering.
in the chair, the pampering.
Somebody else doing it for me.
But
I
as
love that.
I love braids though too.
as a
Yes.
professional
I'm
though,
constant with braids.
I mean, I understand that they want to get pampered, they want to get it done, but do you think that's like the best thing?
No,
Because
I
you're
think
kind of like cheating, you're kind of like letting it fall and relying on somebody else now to do it for you.
my personal opinion, I used to love going to do my hair. I love protective styling. This is a practice to protective styling right now. But to be honest, I take pride in doing my own hair and making my own products and knowing and being confident in what I'm putting into my hair and my scalp. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that it's best that we try to learn how to be comfortable doing our own hair. It's a process. It's definitely expensive, but our hair
It's
is our
worth it.
crown and glory.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I'm
worth it.
saying? So this is like a black woman's pride, period.
Exactly.
So we should take more pride in taking care of our hair and put aside that time to invest in taking care of our hair. Like for me, it's like a day process. Like I'll set aside a Sunday and I'm doing my hair for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with the results after, you know. It's a process.
I feel like and just me being a man, right? I feel like natural hair is just beautiful, right? But I also feel like sometimes what women want out of their hair, that is the ultimate slippery slope.
Expectation.
Right? The expectation of what look they're trying to get, and that's when they start making deals with the devil. You know what I'm saying?
It's like it has to be the curl.
Yeah,
the
it has to
curl
stay
has
this
to be
way. I
tight.
want
Yeah,
this
we like
look.
different looks.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. I like different
and then
looks.
it's over. Then you
Yeah.
start compromising, your hair texture, the
Right.
But
elements, the
I
naturals.
also think that's like when you kind of get into it late, because like it's like like you're just getting into it late. So
as an adult,
as an
learning
adult.
about
So
hair.
when you get into it late, you kind of like already set in your ways. You're like, I'm not gonna do all of that. I'm gonna just do this and do that, and you just kind of just let it go. I know we're a guy, so it's simple, but I moisturize my hair every night before I go to bed. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I do the beard too, and it looks like a certain way because it's not shaped up.
Right.
But and then in the morning
don't
I
make
do
excuses.
I do
Bravo.
this like in the morning I do the same thing.
Doesn't
You know,
look
I
better
put
with
the
you.
oils in it and I
We
brush
woke
it
up like this.
and everything, and then it's just like because it's maintenance.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's
I
maintenance.
agree.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
like taking a shower and putting lotion on. You
Right.
know? And so
I didn't just to be honest, I didn't have hair for a long time, right? Not because of an illness. I used to just do the Caesar or the baldy. That was just my thing, and then I started growing hair. So now the hair I have, it's like, it is the worst thing, and I
Why
like,
is that?
That's why he has a hat on for today.
yeah, because I like hats. So when you put
It
hats
doesn't fit
on, it's hat
properly.
hair. Hat hair.
Oh, when you take the hat
destroys-
off.
Yeah.
your hat. But when you go natural, what I've noticed is one day, just one day of not upkeep, of not the oils, of not, and your hair feels like it never had it.
You're right.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm like what is? But but I'm also thinking like, putting all of these things in my hair, like let's say the shea butters and all that stuff. What's the best? Like is it aloe, straight aloe? Is it coconut oil? What do you say is like a starter kit of the best thing you can put in your hair?
That depends on the porosity of your hair. There's
Wow.
low porosity, there's high porosity. So it's all trial and error. I mean, if I was to recommend one ingredient, aloe vera juice. Everybody's hair doesn't agree with coconut oil. So to be universal, olive oil. Grapeseed oil is a light oil. That's pretty good for everybody's hair. So it depends on your hair. It really depends on your hair and the process of
Wow.
your hair. Like my hair, it doesn't hold in moisture, so I have to do extra just to keep moisture in my hair. So
That's what
my
I was
hair is
gonna
high
ask.
maintenance. As to another sister, she could, or my daughter who could slap in some oil and she's straight. She can go. I can't do that.
yeah.
So what do you put in to hold it?
Right. I was gonna
For me,
ask
I
that.
put in shea butter, mango butter to twist my hair. For oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, argan oil. And I'm using I'm tying my hair at night to keep the moisture in. So by the time I wake up in the morning, I can wash it out just to hold in the moisture.
and you will wash
it's
it
a
out?
Wash it out in
process.
the morning.
Yeah, like I do like a pre-poo. You ever heard of a pre-poo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll do a pre-poo the night before, then I'll
Nah,
wash
do
it
it.
out.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Deja,
Hold on, Nina.
Diva Core has a
Right,
pre-pool.
right.
What is a
Right?
pre-poo? What's a pre-poo, Bravo?
I just told her.
Can I
For
hear?
me, like a pre-poo is like, okay, let's say my hair is really dry. I will put in some oils in it the night before. I will tie it up, and I'll wake up in the morning, and then I'll wash it out and start my treatment with the washing and the conditioning and all that extra
So how
But the
early do you
pre-poo
wake up?
softens your hair to prepare it for the process.
How early do you? What's your start of the day like before you actually make it to your?
It depends on my mood.
Oh, see, my
depends on my
schedule
mood.
is so crazy that it's like I get the look that I have or I need within like 10, 15 minutes. I don't do makeup or anything, so it's just like, okay, I look pretty prim. I'm all right for the day. And I don't have enough extra time, you know what I mean, to like fit in before work. And then before my daughter's a professional figure skater, like it's just crazy.
So what about
just
the weekends?
to build those
Like,
time, she skates on the weekends too. Like it's just around the clock, 24/7.
to be honest
You
with
know,
you,
so
I
I'm
think a
trying to
lot of us
find-
make excuses.
I promise
Call
you
her
I
out.
don't.
Not to do it.
I promise you I don't.
Not to do it.
I promise. Well, you know what it is. I'll
it's
say
a long,
this. So
grievous
I'll say
process
this.
sometimes.
There's the. I need to make sure my hair and stuff is done, but then there's also the one thing that I like absolutely need, and for me, it's rest.
Yeah,
So 9
rest is
o'clock,
definitely important.
9:30, after like my full 6 a.m. And once I get in about 8:30, well, probably a little earlier, we sit, we eat dinner, we talk. By 9 o'clock, I need everything to be off. Silence. So I need to kind of come down off of my day, and every night I need 8 hours of sleep. I don't do coffee. Like I just run off of the energy, or my energy comes from like my
That's
rest.
amazing.
So
Wow.
no excuses. I can find time, I guess.
What
while I'm
about
sitting
an
in my
hour?
room.
Can you sacrifice
Can you
an
squeeze
hour?
an hour?
She's getting 8 hours of sleep.
I can give her a quick
8 hours.
regimen
She's
in
getting
an
8
hour.
hours.
I'm definitely getting my 8
What
hours.
is a quick regimen? Because
If
I need
I'm
ready.
And I do have hair where yes, it eats the
Same.
grease
Oh,
or
so
it
that's
eats the
easy.
moisture.
Apple cider vinegar. If you spray some apple cider vinegar in your hair, that washes it out, and it balances out your pH
Wait, what do you
for
mean
your
washes
hair.
it? Wait.
Apple cider vinegar
It's
is
a
like a shampoo
clarifying,
as well.
cleansing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cleansing.
So if sisters
I
don't,
know
some
my
sisters
stuff,
don't
man.
like shampoo, they can use the apple cider vinegar. Do that in your hair, 10 minutes. That's wash. Do a conditioner for 15 minutes, and then after that, twist your hair, and then you're good to go.
This is what every night.
No. This is once a week or.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like an hour, and you're done.
Okay, because I can go to the hair salon. And
So
it's
that's
like
like a
2
wash and
hours.
set.
And
That's
again,
an
that's the
alternative
Pretty
to a
much.
wash and set.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
a deep conditioner. Do you usually put heat on it, or do you just sit and wait? Because some people do it at the
sometimes,
salons. They do like the deep conditioner. They
That's
put
true.
heat, and I always wonder. Like sometimes I'm like, no, not today, and they're like, oh no, we want to do it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just too much heat.
Heat meaning under a dryer.
Under a dryer, yeah.
Sometimes I just wrap my hair and I
Okay.
walk
And
around
just
the
air
house and
dry?
do chores, and I let the heat radiate from my body
Okay.
instead of going under a heater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Try
All
that
right. So
one.
let's get into because this became a hair session.
Yeah.
Hip hop point of view here, and this is beautiful. It's beautiful. We're gonna
great
get back
thing,
to it, but we just have some stuff to promote. Let's promote some stuff, right? And we're gonna get back. Right
He
back
said
to
it's
it.
beautiful. We're going
So,
to get back to it.
Lakeisha, you have the book right there.
Yes,
Right,
I
this
do.
is the book.
I'm telling you, I don't get this often, so I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Is that you?
That's me.
Okay. What kind of hair is that?
This is actually braids. So I
Okay,
had these
braids.
long.
Okay.
Let me tell you a quick
see.
story. So the picture that I was going for was a picture with this like animal print something, and it was in front of the bull down on Wall Street. Oh, here.
Right here.
And the quality, well, because I actually self-published and I did it through Amazon. So the DPIs weren't strong enough, or the pixels weren't strong enough to actually upload and use it. So I reached out to my photographer and I'm like, hey, do you still have this picture? And he's like, no, I don't even have that camera. But how about we meet this weekend and I can take another picture because I needed a picture for the weekend. And I'm like, I have these braids. What am I going to do? So anyway, I was just like, I came up with this hairstyle, which was, it was fitting. It was fitting.
It's very strong too.
Yeah.
It's a very strong look.
And because he's my photographer, like we've done work before, and I remember just standing there doing all of these poses, and he said to me, he says, "Are you done?" And I was just like, "Yeah, what do you mean? Like we're taking pictures?" And he says, "I want you to think about." He's like, "I know you know how to model, I know you know how to smile, I know you know how to pose." He said, "But think about the content, think about the journey, think about what you want people to get out of it." And then when I thought about it deep, he says, "Are you ready?" And this was the first pose that came up because everyone's so used to seeing me smiling. I'm always smiling, hee 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 ha ha ha. You'll never ever get or even imagine what's written in the material. And then the back was that last pose of feeling like I conquered something great.
Yeah, there's a lot of pain in that picture.
It is,
Yeah, I
right, in
see
the
it.
eyes. But, you know, again, a lot of people were like, why do you look like that? This is not you. This is not you. I'm always,
It
and I
doesn't
was
look like it really. You got to
So,
like.
yeah.
If you told me it was you, I'd be like, it's you. It doesn't look like.
And then,
it.
of course, the glasses are
It's
off.
like Winnie Mandela, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's like a
But no, this was
powerful
braids. I
depiction.
love braids. So I'll
Yeah,
usually
I'm
do
glad.
maybe,
too.
I'll do
Some braids
box
this
braids
weekend.
9 hours and a half. But
Yep.
9 hours for like a good, you know, a month and a half or something like
Yeah.
that. And I kind of do all of the conditioning and
Right.
everything over time. And then maybe like every other month I'll keep the braids. You know,
Okay.
just so therefore I can kind of keep my hands out of it. And I don't have to pay to, you know, put that much
Right.
time.
Crazy.
And
So
of
Nick-
course, you know, when my daughter was little, I used to braid her hair all the time. And it's like now she doesn't want braids because she's too big. I'm like, Jesus.
Likewise, my daughter.
What? Too big? I get
She's too
braids
big.
now.
Yeah. So I try to lead by example and get braids because I'm thinking she's going to follow suit. And she's like, no. But anyway.
Yeah, they're not in right now. All right.
Yeah.
They're not, wait until they get in style. So,
Yes.
Nina, what's going on with that?
Yeah, so this book was birthed after my father passed away December of last year.
God bless.
Condolences.
Thank you so much. Something tragic happened to me in my life, and after my father passed away, before then I promised him that I would see through my book, and this is how it was birthed. I don't want to give everything away, but it's like a memoir. It goes through the stories of my life. It's very graphic, but it's basically a story about how forgiveness and healing takes place when something tragic has happened to you or someone has really affected you in your life. So it's a really great deep read.
It's a deep
Yeah,
section.
this is about this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, who's that on the cover?
Well, this represents me. This is just a photo of a sister, and half represents the pain that I went through, and half represents me being
like that.
reborn, after it happened, and how healing took place, and now I'm free from that, and now I'm trying to give back. Yeah.
And do you have some of the natural products? You have them here?
I don't have them here. I should have brought them. Liv told me to bring them, and I didn't listen to her. But
okay.
no, I don't
It's
have
all
You
them.
can come
but-
back. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you guys will have me, I'll definitely
Yes.
come back.
We could give you a PO box to send it to.
So, but what's
Absolutely.
available right now? What kind
Well,
of
on my website www.ninaknaturals.com, I have all my the shampoo, conditioner, leave-in, the oil, and the butters is on there. The butter is not only a hair cream, but it's also a body cream as well.
Okay.
That's good.
Launching in
Yeah.
fall would be the body line, skincare line, and moving forward there'll be a lot more.
what some prices?
Well, the hair care package altogether is $50, but the conditioner is $12, shampoo is $13. The leave-in
That's
is
great.
$11.
It
The
is
oil is
expensive.
$10. For
Expensive
the
these
ingredients that's
days.
in there, it's a great price, and the
Okay.
butter is $12.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you
I'm
tell
excited.
them where to catch you, where to get your music since we're advertising?
Oils.
I have one question for somebody that has natural, oily, straight hair and they want to grow their hair. What do they need specific products for that to grow their hair, or?
No, they don't need like specific. For oily hair, I would recommend like apple cider vinegar. That's really good for clarifying. Not too much oil. I think a little oil would go a long way. And it's just the technique and maintenance. Just keeping it moisturized, even with like water and a little conditioner. Like my leave-in conditioner, it's like a spritz, so you can also use it daily as keeping the moisturizing up if you don't like to do all that extra stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, something like that would be great for them.
What are you thinking about females who I guess feel like they go through tragedies and then they go through different experiences with their hair? So the big chops or the big dyes, or like, what do you think about that process?
Well, that's me, because I've cut my hair about 4 times in my life, all off. So sometimes when I was going through my tragic events, I would react by cutting off all my hair and starting over from scratch.
Okay.
I don't really think there's really advice to give in regards to that. Again, it's just maintenance and caring for your hair and keeping it moisturized. But sometimes women express themselves different ways, and that's how I express myself was
Okay.
through cutting my hair when I was trying to restart.
The
Yeah.
big chop.
The big chop.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
say I look like Tisha Campbell when I was little. When her hair was short, I was like, I'd never look nice with short hair.
I remember when Tisha had the short hair.
Right? Her head was
Yes.
big, Applehead. And that's what they used to call me. I was
Oh
like,
no! She's like, I don't
Yeah,
want to
they
be
call
called
me-
Applehead.
no, they do call me Applehead, but I just couldn't imagine a short haircut. And maybe I'm just scared. I don't know, but
I love it. I think short hair looks great on me, honestly.
I think it'll be higher maintenance, especially when I don't have that extra
Definitely.
time.
What type of short hair are you talking about? You talking about like the Halley,
Like
or
the
you talking
Halley.
about the Eve?
The Holly.
The Halley, okay.
Yeah, because the Eve is much shorter, right? Like she has
Yeah,
close
Eve
to
is-
like a
is
Caesar
shorter.
job.
Yeah, it's almost a Caesar.
But no, more of like the Holly. Holly, you might have to go in often, cuts, keep it
Yeah,
trimmed
that's
up.
definitely
It'll
high
be
maintenance.
high, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
that's high
That's
maintenance.
But
funny.
I would want something like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, the Halley, the Tony Braxton. Those
Yes.
those
I always
hair.
wanted a bob.
Oh, the
And I
bob?
always wanted a bang, but then when I went to school, people was telling me that like people who had bangs had like pimples or
yeah, I used to
so
get the
yeah.
pimples
I
on my
would,
forehead.
Because of the
people get-
sweat or
'cause of the
whatever.
sweat. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I don't
And
want to
then
get
the
acne.
oils.
So I never got a bang, and then I was like, maybe I can get like a wig that has a bang. But then I was like, I don't know, I never wanted to do it only because people said that you may get pimples. So I was like, no, I don't want to mess up my
I
forehead.
definitely got pimples. I don't know if it was just like a time period because I had the Cleopatra, but I was like a teenager, so I don't know if
yeah.
it was because I was a teenager and it was hormonal, season.
That's true.
Probably.
Could've been
Or
that.
if it
Could've
was
been
like
a
oil,
pubescent-
the product
hair.
in your hair. Yeah.
But
pubescent
isn't,
situation.
Like, cutting the hair short for females, it goes by like the length for the cut is basically like your facial features. Because my daughter, like, I got her hair cut when she was 14. I chopped her hair off. Her mom's cursed me out
At
for
14?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
your,
Oh,
what
I
was
ain't
your
care.
reason then behind
Because
it?
my daughter wanted it cut.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that was that. So I went and took her and got it
Okay.
cut off.
Okay.
And her mom's was like,
Wait,
"God
give me
dare
a
you.
second on this one.
I dare you.
Excuse me,
cutting
ladies.
her hair off.
Why did she want to cut?
Because she just wanted it cut. She just was like, she wanted a short haircut. So I
You didn't
just
ask
took
her why? Like,
Nah, she wanted a short haircut. That's my daughter. That's what you want. We gonna go. We
Okay.
gonna get it chopped
Okay.
off.
Okay.
And I took her. Her mom's let me have it for a year.
Yeah.
Now was
Oh,
it
you
a
cut
now
it,
was it
yeah.
a Caesar? Did you give a Caesar?
Nah,
Did you
she
give
got it short like a
baldy?
short, no, like a. Nah,
Like a baldy?
Nah, it wasn't no baldy. But we gonna get to that though. She got it cut very short.
Okay.
Like by the ear?
Yeah, probably
Here?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very short, very
Okay.
short, because she had long hair.
Oh,
We got it
wow.
cut short, right? Now, she has a shortcut, the little afro curls coming in and
nice.
everything.
That's
And
beautiful.
That was
everybody's
just her
like,
thing then.
oh, you look fabulous, like you should have been. And I'm like, I seen the vision years ago and I did it.
Yeah.
You let me have it. Now, all of a sudden, it's all good because she has a round face. So it shows, it shows her cheeks and
Features,
everything.
yeah. Yeah.
and
It's
everything.
stronger.
So everything. So that's why I was saying, like, is it sometimes, you might not look right with it because of how your face is.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
Grow
true.
into
That's
it.
true.
Yeah,
We all
I
have
think you-
different facial features,
too.
and all styles don't go with everybody.
And you just gotta
But you
try.
wouldn't know
Yeah,
until you
it's
try.
like
gotta
again, it's
try
all
it.
trial and error. Yeah.
You just gotta try.
Mhm.
They say our hair as a black woman is like our strength.
Yep.
But then it's also the first thing we do when we're going through
Do
something that
something.
we alter.
Yeah, I definitely probably wouldn't agree with cutting my hair anymore, but it's definitely something that I've done in my past.
it's so real. Black women hair is a representation of their their progressions, right? Like you see, like when they're healthy and they're in a good relationship, and you see they got a good job or whatever, you see their hair bubbling. Whether it's they're going to get their hair done or whether they're going natural, you see
You
it.
see the glow.
You see the glow. But unfortunately, it's something like that they also cut when they feel like there's an issue, right? They go to express that. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Some women cut it because it may be a maintenance issue, right? It's cost too much to get it done all the time. It may be you need a cleansing and you want to start from the root. There may be but
Damaged.
yeah, it may be damaged. A lot of people talk about, because I know you both have children.
Yes.
Okay. So, what kills me sometimes is, where did you get your information about hair as a child? Did you did you give your child information about hair real young, like 3-4 years old? Like, this is.
No, I started giving my daughter information about hair about 6 years ago.
How old is she now?
She's 14. So I started really caring for hair and really wanting to understand hair about 6 years ago when I first started, school with my master's. Yeah.
And I feel like because I'm in education, so and I'm in that demographic. I'm in the predominantly African American demographic, Caribbean demographic, right? And it's so interesting how our young girls don't know much about hair. Young. And they need to know.
And it's,
they need
like
to know.
you said, it's interesting because as I'm teaching, I think about that as well. Because female, I get comments, "Oh, it looks so nice today," and then the next day they like, "Oh, it doesn't look so nice." But I sometimes feel like I have to, feel like I'm available, but I don't want to touch their hair. The mothers and fathers. But it's always like I could see the ponytail being off, or maybe if I get a little gel or a little water, I put it in the ponytail. But we don't have the rights to do so. But at the same time, I'm like, I wonder if they're receiving that education at home or like in magazines, and like some people wear their hair out and a girl doesn't feel pretty and beautiful enough because they see the girls with the straight hair. So I'm always like trying to wear it different styles just so they can see somebody that's in the classroom going through different things.
That's
at
positive.
The same time.
A lot of the children are brainwashed with the westernized societal
vision of what hair should look like. Yeah.
So definitely, the parents educating the children within the household would definitely be beneficial. Because even sometimes when I used to drop my daughter off at school and I see some girls' hair, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
What is going on in the house?
Or
young girls with weaves, it's crazy.
Yeah, perms early.
Yeah.
And it looks to me sometimes like if, particularly in New York, with New York's winters, right? That's where we lose a lot of our girls because they don't care, like for almost December to almost February, and then you see the damage. You see them waking up, and then their hair is just all over the place. So, and then now here comes the self-esteem issue.
Yep.
Now it's the warm weather. You don't even want to pull it out, right? So you're going through months now out the year where you covered it because it was cold. You didn't take care of it. When the nice weather comes, you don't want to put it out because you didn't take care of it. So now you're left with the 2 months. You're trying to. It's summer. You want to get it done. So I really think that's a big thing because the girls are cruel.
No,
they are ruthless.
They really are.
Wow.
When they get at each other's hair,
they will tell you.
They are ruthless.
Did you comb your hair today? I'm like, did you do your homework?
I think it's also
like, excuse me.
I think it's also by leading by example in the household.
True.
And taking the time out to maintain the hair, and the parents, either don't have the time or not willing to make the time.
Right.
Or don't know what to do. Or don't know what to do.
Do the shortcut, perm the hair.
They do a
do
lot
the
of
extent.
that.
Put it in braids. Put it in braids.
And then, I get the braids done and she's good for a month. You know what I'm saying? So you do
And
that
then
type
they
of
don't
stuff.
tend to
And
it
then
even
that's
with
what
the
happens.
braids,
And
yeah.
it's like, even when you got braids,
you still
gotta
gotta take care of it.
You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? You still gotta maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't do that.
And then it's like bonding time too. It's like bonding time.
I mean, it's
bonding
exactly
time.
the
If
perfect
you're doing
time
it
to
yourself.
bond.
Yeah.
And I learned how to braid because of my daughters.
Nice.
I had to learn how to braid because her mom's does hair. So I'm like, and she's like, well, you gonna need to take the braids out. I'm like, how? And I had to figure out how to take the braids out without breaking the hair off and everything. Learned how to braid, and I can braid.
Nice.
You know
Wow,
what
that's
I'm saying?
nice.
I know how
That's
to braid.
dope.
I know how to do it. So that's why
I need 2 braids.
know
for
we're gonna talk some prices.
All right.
But that's why I learned a lot about hair early because of my daughters, and then I just wind up like working, for some, beauty supply places and everything, and so I just learned everything.
Yeah.
Just learning about it, so I know certain things. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot about coloring, and that, I know stuff that you look at, you be like,
I know. I'll probably
know?
Wow.
what you mean?
So it's just like
That's interesting, but that is so true. That how the bonding, right? Women can bond with their daughters, right? And then that information leads to esteem, and then now you have a whole different child growing up.
and a whole different
Like,
relationship.
I'm
You got a whole
from
different
Bronx,
relationship.
So it's predominantly in my daughter's school. It was predominantly Hispanics. So everything is straight or
man.
curly, And my daughter was
Wash and
probably
go.
about she was probably about maybe 6, 7 years old, and she wouldn't say much, but you know your kid. So she's like, Mommy, I just want it straight today. I just want it straight. Don't braid it today. I just want it straight. So I'm just like, why does she keep saying straight? And why do you want it straight, sweetheart? Because you're a tomboy, you know, and it's like, we're going to straighten it, and then you're going to have an afro. And then that's going to be, so I'm like, that's fine. But I absolutely love that she was okay with having it straight. She'd run crazy, sweat it out. She would have her afros. She was very comfortable with her afros. And then I'm like, okay, just to kind of get, because they don't sleep with scarves on too. Like I try to keep the scarf on, and then throughout the night, it'll slip off. So I'm like, you know what? A couple days, she'll have it to air out the way she wants it, and then we'll sit. But again, that bonding time, we sit down, she's reading or we're talking, watching movies, and then I can just like braid her hair up, and then we'll take it out over the weekend, and then we'll just kind of continue to do it that way. So therefore she can not always be looking at what she doesn't have, and why isn't my hair this way? And then we have, you know, and again, it's the conversation. You have conversations about different ethnic groups and different hair types, and you know, and it's like, look at Mommy's hair. So if we both got to go out with ponytails and afros, so be it. This is what our day is going to be.
It made me think about a lot when you talked about your book, because I went through a lot growing up too, and I never, you know, it was the people who knew, but my friends didn't know what I was going through. Half the teachers didn't know. But I was thinking about what you said as well. It's like family. I grew up with my grandmother.
Me too.
So it was like, she was old school. I remember seeing pictures, and I literally still had that one curl in the front of my hair.
Tight girl too, probably with the pink
with the roller, with the roller still inside. I'm like, first of all, this is just
Shantae.
ridiculous.
It looks like your mic. It looks just like
Shantae.
your mic.
Yep, I have. Yep.
Let me fix that hair.
I didn't get it, but to me, I had to, growing up, especially like young and being in the house with boys, I kind of had to let that go, because I saw her have 4 jobs going back to school. You know, so when I used to ask her about hair, she used to say, figure it out. And I'm like, my 10-year-old figure it out was like, would you? So, you know, then I see different shampoos. I will go and I'll try to experiment. But I'm like, I don't want my hair to be bad, you know, what we call bad hair, because my grandmother had to sacrifice and still make it work for us. So I used to try home remedies and say, okay, so this person said put the eggs in there for the conditioner, some mayonnaise,
some avocado.
That's good for our hair
Just mix
too.
it up.
Avocado's great. Yeah.
And that's what you talked about. Somebody threw something.
That was Tay.
Okay.
She just kind of.
You know, I think Slims has
She
a
went
button.
back in time.
Slims has a button.
She said,
over
"I
there.
remember that hairstyle that she gave me one time."
And see, I used to get straightenings every Sunday. My grandmother would wash my hair, and then she every
What's
other Sunday.
straightenings? What's that?
With the straightening
With
comb,
the straightening
and you
comb,
put it on.
and you
It's
put
the
it on
hot
the
coal.
Oh, my God.
And they put the Vaseline.
You swear to God, it's gonna burn your skull. You be like, "Don't touch my head with that
blow
comb."
it. She used to blow it when it gets there, and I'm like,
Yeah, I remember going into households
I would be scared of
and
this.
smell it.
instantly knowing that hair comb is on the stove.
smell it.
You can
Yes,
smell
you
it.
can smell
You're
it.
doing hair and hair, huh?
Yeah.
Your mom be doing hair today, huh? Grandma,
So she not cooking. She not cooking today. She doing
She
hair.
doing hair.
That joint used to be just sitting on the stove, just blaring. Like
But I must say, I felt like I had the best hairstyle and
Yeah.
straightened, and I'm like,
And then it's like, now you would probably be against something like that, because it's
Oh yeah.
like
yeah.
you know. But my hair was so good. My hair was straight. My hair was straight. I had no problems. But I do think that the quality of a lot has changed from our time of growing up to now.
Absolutely.
You know, and
my
that's
mom
why
used to
we-
perm my hair a lot. So my hair, from young. So educating myself a years back with my hair was very important to me after experiencing, all that damage that I went through at a young age.
Okay.
So, yeah.
One thing I learned too is that I recommend women. You probably don't know about it, but going natural though. No. Going natural though, it's really good for your soul. Like your energy is totally different now, and like I notice it with my daughter now. She's natural, and like she just glows now. Even when she's going through something bad, she's glowing because it's just
internal.
It's her.
Yeah. Like there's nothing.
her natural
I don't
state.
have to put. And it's just
There's
something
so much
about
that
it,
we
man.
do nowadays, and this is mind, body, soul, internal, external, everything that we mask. So
I mean, we like the makeup.
we
Us men, we
mask.
like the makeup, and we like that.
Yeah, but it's like you.
That's
It
not
comes off.
necessary all the
It
time.
comes off.
Yeah.
It comes off.
But it's like
It
even
comes
if
off, and I
even
need
if
to
you
see.
had, like,
Right.
I need to see what
Yeah.
you look like.
Wait, they disagree.
I don't like the makeup either. I like what you said about natural hair is good for the soul. I like natural hair because, you know, as time has told me, it says a lot about the woman automatically. Like you can pretty much know if a woman walks in with, even a little girl or a woman walks in with natural hair, there is some confidence going on.
And her mother was
either the mother's on
right
it
there,
or that
father,
woman is on it, and you can tell it's a whole different approach how you deal with that person. You know, so that's one thing about natural hair. Now makeup, you know, I know all women put some form of makeup. You know, very few women are just completely bare.
Yes.
But
I hate when they put too much, when they gotta take a chisel to get it off. You know, at night.
I can understand
statue?
that.
You building a statue? What's up with you?
So, Evie, are you ready to promote your music now?
I have one question.
Oh my God, he's like, you know what? Actually, follow me at the All Natural Official.
Yo,
he's gonna be the official
He's like,
Envy.
every 15 minutes. I got one question.
I got one question. All right. So for a rapper or hip hop musician, sometimes our worries if we do a new song, a new project, new album, our worries is writing the song, or if somebody's gonna like the song, or whatever the case may be. Now, when it comes to you making your own products, coming up with your own products, do you have any worries if somebody's gonna like it, or if it's gonna work for them, or anything like that?
Great question.
That's a great question.
Prior, definitely.
Official
When
Envy.
I first thought up, came up with the idea of wanting to make that is a good question. With my own product line, I definitely did worry, but because it's all natural and organic, infused with herbs, and I feel like right now the times that we're in, a lot of people are going back to natural remedies and herbs. I'm not really worried about it.
I like the confidence.
Thank
How about you, Keisha? What do you think about like writing new stuff or discussing, your memoirs? What do you think?
One, because it's my story and it's not, watered down, or it's, or not even say watered down. It's nothing that I put in just to make the story sell. You know what I mean? Like it's raw, it's real, it's authentic. Yes, sometimes you do have that feeling where you're like, I wonder how it's, what I've
How they're
projected or
receiving
whatever,
it.
how it's received. But at the end of the day, it's not for the masses. It's for the people who need to have received that message. You know what I mean? At whatever point or state in their life, and again, this book touches on everything. It touches on like the way I feel about police officers right now, based on my interactions when I was younger, and you know what I mean. So it just touches on so many things, triggers, looking at the news, and some story taking place on the other side of the world. It's not my story, but I can feel it. You know what I mean? So it's more of who it touched, and not necessarily, meant to be received by someone who just, and it's not even that they don't understand, they just not ready to receive.
Yeah, they're not in that space.
You're going to go through
with
that,
my
but I
book
think
too.
if you have that goal, like if you have a goal set, it's coming straight from the heart. I don't feel like, well, I guess you do. You may have that feeling of, I don't know, I hope and wonder. But I think once this is yours, this is you, this is what you put out there, and, go for it. You know what I mean?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, excuse me. Are you ready to promote the music?
Time, right?
Yes, one more question.
So, at this point, when you wrote the book, are your accomplishments or visions at where you wanted them to be when you first wrote the book, or do you feel like it could expand and reach higher?
It could expand. It could absolutely reach higher. It can always reach higher than where it is right now. And, sometimes I feel like I need to take a back seat, or I need to take a step back and just like, review how far I've came. But then it's just like, no. Oh, and the other part of it is, how can I make this look different? You know what I mean? Do I change the, change the picture? And it's just like, no, there's people on social media, or there's people who, you've never seen before that could receive it, and you're ready. And then it could be, all it takes is one hand for it to get in come in contact with. One message. I now take the ferry. Like, it's just so many means of just connecting and communicating and getting your point across. So
Bravo.
it
I
can
wanna
absolutely
ask
go further.
So you're, do you want to continue to be an author, right? So after you write a memoir and everything, what is the next project that you create now?
Life is still happening. I have material for a second book. When I first put this out, I was like, wow, this is amazing. How can I top this? Like, this is my masterpiece. And then life just kept happening, and I'm like, damn, why am I going through the same thing? You know what I mean? It's like I wrote this thinking like, this is the end, this is it. Now I can start to live.
Yeah, I'm gonna close this
Yeah,
chapter.
this is it. And then it's just like, you know, something happened where I got the what do you call it? The ghetto bird over my house looking for somebody, and they banging and kicking on my door. I'm like, damn, life is really still happening. It just doesn't end. And these are things or whatever that people need to know, even after this book. Now what? How has life changed? You know, so it's still happening. I have self-published other people's, other fellow authors material. So I've written like 8 books for them, which again puts me on the back end of doing my own material. Any reason that I have to come out and speak, or any opportunity, I do that just to kind of keep in it, because sometimes it's hard.
It's fantastic.
That's
What is
awesome.
the edit process like?
Oh, I actually had 2 editors. One flaked out heavy on me, and the other, it was a pretty hefty price.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was good with it, and I was really good with it. But it took her like a year.
Okay.
It took her a year to edit. Now the thing was, I told her I want this. This is my voice. When I get the material back, I want it to be my voice. I don't want any changes. So what she did was, I gave it to her in timeline form by year of experience. I needed her to be that person to read it and make sense of it. Because as a reader, you need to understand what it is that I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to get across. So what she did was, she kind of focused on story arc. So she moved paragraphs around so it made sense. So, but I was nervous, because I was like, oh God, she didn't get back to me yet. Is she putting my material out there? And then it's like, I had to go, and I had to copyright it and had it, sent to me or whatever, just to do those, those
Protect
pieces
yourself.
to protect it. Yeah, but it was a little scary.
So, Nee, what's your editing process like?
Honestly, I'm sitting here listening to her, and it was almost a similar thing that we went through. My editing process was pretty grievous as well, but I think just the process of writing the book and having to rehash a lot of the stories that I went through was probably the most difficult for me. And going through the emotional roller coaster of the book was a lot. There's many times that I wanted to give up, but after completing the book and realizing how much lives it's touched, just who has read it already, it's gratifying. And it's not going to reach everyone, but the audience that I'm looking for, those voiceless victims, they, once they read this book, they will know that through the Most High, through forgiveness and healing, they can survive what I went through. So it was definitely grievous and meticulous, but I got through it, and I'm working now on 2 other books I'm currently writing.
Wow. Is Envy ready? That's my question.
Yeah.
Envy, you ready?
Oh.
One more question.
No, I don't have no more questions.
One more question.
No, I don't got no more questions.
Because where's my music?
Now, basically, you can find my music on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, DatPiff, Google, eBay, Amazon. Basically, every major store is on. YouTube. Now, I actually have 13 singles out. You know what I'm saying? Just out of those 13, I have 2 videos out. I'm doing a video this weekend. I'm doing another single Saturday. You know what I'm saying? It's just been promoting my work, try to do whatever show I could. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of features just to get my name out there. It's my second time here. I'm just exactly.
Yeah, he's part of the fam.
It's working.
Anything just to promote myself, just to promote my music. You know what I'm saying? Is like I said last time, I'm trying to bring back, as he said, the classical hip hop.
Right.
It's not old school hip hop. It's classic hip hop. So that's basically what my goals and my vision is.
Okay.
So that's like I said, the natural, exactly.
Natural
That's what's
vision.
up.
Exactly. And like I said, being born and raised in the Bronx is
That's where it started.
exactly. Thank you.
Where you from?
Well, I was born here, but my mother and father from Guyana.
Okay.
So I'm Guyanese.
You was on the Parkway on Sunday?
No, I wasn't.
So
With
we're
my natural
gonna
hair, I was not.
so we're gonna give out our handles, where to get the book,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
And then close out with some pictures and videos. Okay.
Okay.
So Lakeisha, go first.
So you can get the book. Actually, have a website designed just for this book, and it's www.adiamondintherough.co, not .com, but .co. It's also on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and through the website, there's actually a link there that can take you to the book. It gives, information, just to kind of help and motivate. I suffered with PTSD for many years. I refused to take medication. And I was like, I know that there's a purpose in my life, so let me just find a way. So there's like tools and tips, rather it was like, exercising or meditating, like just certain things like that naturally to do, because there's always a way. So all of those little things or whatever are on there as well. I'm on Instagram at author_diamond613 and Lakeisha Baker on Facebook.
Perfect.
Yes.
Nice. So you can catch my book on www.ninaknaturals.com. It's also available on Amazon and Kindle. On my website, I also have about a 19-minute documentary going through the story of my life. So check that out too. It's really interesting. It's like a highlight of my book. And you can also catch me at on Instagram at Nina K Naturals.
Wow. Envy, are you closing us out? Where to catch you at?
And catch my Instagram on I am the real _envy. SoundCloud, I am the real _envy. Twitter, envy_New York City. Catch me on Google. I'm on Google again. Amazon, eBay. Yeah, you can just Google me, man. I'll pop up. I'll pop up. It's nothing bad either. It's good stuff.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Like, I love music. I'm into music. That was also like an outlet for me. It was me, the DJ, and the bartender, and the dance floor. That was it. How do you respond, when you're looking at your crowd and you put music out there and everybody's jamming, and then you put on a song that's not so, it's hot to you, but not so hot. It kind of flows, but it's not hot to the crowd, and you see like a change. Do you like quickly switch it up, or you kind of stick with what you had planned, at least until, I don't know if there's like, what is that? I don't know what you call like a little segments. Do you switch up the whole segment that you had in your mind because you thought this is going to be hot for the night? Look at the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, how do you? Because I love music, and like I'm telling you, I follow DJs. So I go to parties where I know DJs is going to be hot. That's it. Give me a drink and a DJ. That's all I need.
Believe it or not, no, I don't switch it up. I continue doing what I'm doing because that's what I got on the stage for. You know what I'm saying? Like I said last week, there's always a difference between what they want to hear and what they need to hear. I do music for people that they need to hear what I have to say instead of what they want to hear. So I'm going to continue my set, then maybe after I'll give them what they want to hear. But like I said, being from the Bronx, that's all I grew up on. It's things that's happening at that moment, not what I portray myself to be. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to show, and it actually did happen before. I did a song, nobody really liked it because it's not what they wanted to hear, but it's what I was comfortable in, the type of music that I'm comfortable doing. So I'm gonna finish it. If I felt like if I would have switched it up, that wasn't me being myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna be myself. So I'm gonna continue what I was doing. Then I'll do a song with something.
Maybe you do some requests.
Exactly. Then I'll maybe do a request. But at that time, period, no. I'm gonna continue doing what I was doing.
That's interesting because you both mentioned that like these are things you promised. These are things that help heal. So this is what I don't care if nobody feels. It's not for everybody.
It's not. So stay true to yourself.
That's it.
Yep.
So just close this out. Hip Hop Point of View. Thank you. Nina.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Lakeisha.
Thank you.
Envy. Excellent stuff.
The real Envy.
You can check us out on the official HipHop.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Keith Perry, FUBU Radio. We're going to take some pictures, do some videos. We out.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
There's a lot of fake stuff out here.